The time is just gone, 13 minutes past 8 a.m., and we kick off this morning looking at the interviews that have been taking place for Chief Justice in South Africa. Now, the EFF once again in the spotlight, and there have been calls growing for Adil Nchabeleng to be removed from the Judicial Service Commission, and to the extent that some of the analysis reveals that the EFF leader, Julius Malema, and Adil Nchabeleng's line of questioning have come under the radar, and also at the same time, when one looks at the line of questioning, it creates an impression that they have been using the Judicial Services Commission as a platform for political ends. And joining us on the line this morning, we're joined by Adil Nchabeleng, President of Transform RSA. Adil, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome.
Wa alaikum salam, and thank you so much.
Yes, as always, Jazakallah khairan so much for your time with us now, Adil. This latest issue surrounding Advocate Adil Nchabeleng calls for him to be removed from the JSC.
Yeah, the issues are quite strange because this was a process which was conducted in public, space, whereby every political party, including the members who have been seconded, within the bar, who have been seconded to the Judicial Service Commission to be the commissioners with respect to the appointment as well as the running of the Judicial Services Commission. In this case, unfortunately, it seems that there is a section of South African population, particularly within several NGOs, and I think, generally, a certain sector of our society that feels that they are disgruntled, one on the basis that the Judicial Services Commission recommended Judge Maya, a lady who they feel in their views is not either qualified enough or has enough credibility to stand the test of being the Chief Justice of South Africa. So there has been an outcry, an absolute outcry over the process in which the interviews were conducted. And the outcry is quite basic because they're saying that, they turned that whole process into some kind of a gimmick, and they turned the whole process of the interview into a personal vendetta over some of the issues. But we all know when it comes to any issue with regards to South Africa on what is happening in the public affairs, nothing is ever going to be satisfying to everybody. The process was conducted in a manner which, to us, it seemed fair because questions were all asked and fielded openly, where candidates felt that they came short. That was on their own account, and unfortunately, the candidates that were so-called preferred did not really come through in terms of being recommended.
Yes. Now, Adil, the key issue here is, this was obviously in an open forum, but what has come under the radar is the line of questioning. For example, some analysis, shows that Mandisa Maya was, some of the questions was found to be sexist when one looks at the treatment of acting Chief Justice Raymond Zondo and also the Judge President Mlambo, where we find that, some of the line of questioning has come under scrutiny.
It's strange because I saw most of the interviews. The only thing that was actually strange was the fact that for the first time, the candidates that were on the interview bench were people who have a certain current sort of special occupation right now. For instance, Judge Zondo, he is the judge of the Zondo Commission that is to do with state capture. And there is already a certain special level of preference that has already been placed that Zondo should have probably either came through as a preferred candidate as it was desired. Unfortunately, it didn't happen because there was some line of questioning that the judge himself, literally failed and collapsed and could not be able to field or even fulfill those line of questioning. In respect to key things, I mean, there were very pertinent issues asked. Do you know or have you been in several meetings with the former President Jacob Zuma? The judge could not even answer, and in some of the answers, he could not even give a straight answer. It was like literally, committing some level of perjury, under oath of saying that I have no memory, I don't remember meeting him, did I meet him or not, and that's what caused a lot of confusion in that whole situation. And on the Judge Maya side of it, Mandisa Maya was the question that people are saying that, they said the panel was soft on her. I mean, now we're getting into areas whereby there is a view that says that because she was a woman, she was not given all of those hard, rigorous questions and everything, which is actually a flaw, because we know that she was subjected to the most scrutinized as well process. Unfortunately, she does not, like many others, for instance, Judge Mlambo as well as Zondo, she does not have many skeletons in her closet. And that is why there wasn't much to probe deeper regarding her life or her life in the public affairs. So I think the lot of the issues that people are raising, especially the current organizations that are going to court now or who are claiming to be going to court to stop the process, are all raising things that have to do with a preference to a particular candidate. There is no substantiated view to say, the process was actually flawed because certain technical rules were not followed. They were not stating anything regarding technicality. All that they are stating is issues of emotionality, that people were given soft questions, some were not, and then the other issue was that for president of the EFF, Julius Malema, was on the bench, and actually he was pushing a political motive. I mean, those people are appointed on the basis that they are political heads. The ANC had its own political heads on that particular commission, and other political parties already had their own, sort of nominated political people. Why they didn't come forward with their questioning or even pushed harder to uncover the truth, we don't know.
Yes, Adil. But also, I think we will find that political parties will try and make political capital out of it. And this seems to be the impression that was created by the EFF in particular, and also considering the fact that we are talking about a very important position in the country. We're talking of the position of Chief Justice. And this is where we seem to be having a problem in this country, where every time, something major happens, like, for instance, appointing the Chief Justice, there's always some sort of controversy. And this is created mainly as a result of political agendas that are playing out in the background.
Absolutely. Remember, politics is part of the lifeline and the bread and butter of this economy and country. So if political parties have an interest at the political level that they are going to entertain, they are not going to leave the spotlight of this nature to pass by. Remember when the former the Chief Justice Mogoeng was interviewed then, those years, it was still a public process. At the time, it was subjected to the same scrutiny. He was questioned for days on end, and particularly questioned on the same line of questioning as to his knowledge, his knowing of Jacob Zuma, as well as his being closer to the former president, Jacob Zuma. And he was grilled over the whole process. But at the end of the day, when he fielded all the questions and was able to satisfy all of the questions and was able to answer calmly. I mean, I saw even the one on Mogoeng in the past. It was not easy. It was not a nice line of questioning. They went into his personal life. They went into his social life. They went into his practice life. They went into his professional life as a judge at the time and scrutinized everything. And eventually he was successful in terms of the outcome. The unfortunate part of this one was that some of the candidates that were placed on public scrutiny, I mean, for instance, there was a pertinent issue asked, regarding an issue which was already reheard of and reported, and the judge nicely said, listen, there are rumors, a massive amount of rumors in the judiciary system, particularly within the court system. People gossip, people have malice, people have betrayal issues, people want to stab you on the back and everything. I mean, this was not uttered by, journalists or commentators or even commissioners. This was uttered by judges, saying that this is the kind of experience that they experience within the judiciary. The nice part of it is the opening of the interviews. To me, what was critical, because all the candidates could actually lay out their vision. Most of them spend hours explaining what their vision would be. The only problem arose when there was a line of questioning, when they had to respond to all of those rigorous questions. And their personal, private, public, as well as professional life was actually placed on scrutiny. And they were probed on the basic issues relationships, the engagements, the meetings they've had, as well as the plans that they've been advancing on their own personal interests. And some of them didn't actually make it through that line of rigorous questioning. And that is why most people are saying, no, they turned, EFF under Julius Malema, he was able to turn that commission into some kind of a political football where he was, trying to do political scoring and everything, which was not the case. That thing was actually aired in public. Some of these judges, if they could not answer questions, they should have openly said, look, this I cannot answer because it falls within the fray of what I'm not able to entertain. It could have been done properly, but they answered, and unfortunately, in some of the answers, a lot of information and truth arose as well as suffers, and as a result, it disadvantages.
Well, Adil, Jazakallah, as always, for your time with us here on Salam Media. We appreciate you taking time out, talking to us as always, and we wish you well, my brother. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam, and thank you so much.
Adil Nchabeleng, President of Transform RSA, with us this morning. We're going to go for a break. We come back, we'll be joined by Salman Khan, Chairperson of the South African Kashmiri Action Group.
Nasiri Products, don't forget this name.